Hello, my name is Professor Smalley, and I would like to give you a little walkthrough here into D2L to guide you to get you going for my online Math 2413 Calculus 1 course. I realize it can be a little overwhelming if this is your first time to take an online course, and if it's your first time with Lone Star to take an online course. Now let's see what we have here. If you go to the Lone Star College homepage, there's a couple of ways you can navigate over to the course. There's LSC Online, or if you log into your My Lone Star account, you can get to it that way. I'm going to try the LSC Online and see what happens, and hopefully everything will be good. We have a secure login right over here. I usually use My Lone Star just because I can see emails and a few other things all at the same time, which actually this is doing the same thing. Okay, well, all right, that's fine. Well, over here to the left, we have LSC Online. Go to D2L Courses. Over on these courses. Now let me switch over to student view here and see if I can navigate through that properly. Well, I may have to get to the right course first, excuse me. Faculty, because I've got a bunch of courses over here. Yours won't quite look that busy. Let's go to summer. This is Cal 1, 4M is the 4-week mini. We're going to click that open. And now I think I'll do a roll switch here and see if I can navigate through there. Student, change role. Okay, now we've got a little start button over there. I usually just click on content. Now, if this is your first time with us, you are going to have to take some little, I don't know, it's a literacy test for computers, or I don't know, but everybody says it's kind of silly, but you have to do it one time. I think you have to get an 80% or higher, but everybody tells me it's easy and nothing to it. So if that pops up, you'll need to go through that process one time. Thankfully, only one time. Just make sure you get 80% or higher. So I'm going to go up here. Now, what here's show you where some of the key stuff is. There's a bunch of things up here. Now, I'm going to put a news item here, and that's where news are like my announcements. Anything that's important, you'll want to look and see what's in the news items. And I'll have a welcome announcement coming up shortly, but I want to make this video first. Now let's go over to content. Get there that way. Now here's where you find all kinds of stuff here. Now I have this one folder called Syllabus and Other Assorted File. That's just sort of a general folder that I put stuff in. And let me run through this. All right, whatever that is. Okay. Glad that's back. I don't want to read through the entire syllabus, but let me just pop through this real quick. I think I'll hit some of the highlights. Okay, name, email me through D2L or Lone Star. Yada, yada, yada. We don't care about this. Book, you can use any book you want. You will not need a My Math Lab code for this course. I have a PDF version of the 9th edition of Larson posted on here. If you've attempted a calculus where you've had to use My Math Lab and for whatever reason you needed to drop the course, and if it's a currently used book, if you contact me, I can set up a blank course through Pearson if you just want to use their resources. I wouldn't necessarily go buy a My Math Lab code, but let's say you were at a school where you were using the Thomas book, for example, and you already had a code. I can set up a blank course for you to sign into if you wanted to use that book, their videos and resources and all that kind of stuff. So what do we have here? This website, calcchat.com, has somewhat worked out solutions for the odd homework problems if you want to look at them. It's certainly better than just seeing the answer in the back of the book. At least shows you some steps, but it may not show everything you need. So you could always obviously email me and ask me a question or something. It may skip an important step or something. Calculators, graphing calculators are fine for this class. I don't care about that. However, I do send to the testing center that calculators like TI 89s, 92s, the TI Inspire CAS is not allowed on exams. So I always tell testing, now if you have an Inspire CX, they should let you use that, but not a CAS. If you want to be safe, you can just get a TI 83 or 84, and maybe someone has one you can borrow or something like that. Videos, I'll show you some that I have. I hope to get to add some more, but you can always go to Khan Academy or whatever source if you want to try to find other sources that have excellent videos. Homework's not required. I have a practice list, which when I go back out of this, I'll show you. We have these things called quizzes. Now, I was going to change the name of these quizzes and call them homework sets, because they're really more like graded homework, and I'll show that to you here in a minute, because what I mean by that is it's not a live quiz where you're answering the questions on the spot. I have PDF files of the quizzes where the problems are there. You work the problems, and then you'll go into D2L and submit the answers to the same problems just before the deadline. And the deadlines, you'll see the deadlines here. I'll show you. They're not ready yet, but they will be. This is I already see a typo here. This was from a prior semester. I didn't change this. Okay, this is wrong. There are 10 quizzes. The lowest 4 will be dropped. This is correct about the best 6 will count. But that's a typo. So that way if I forget to change it, it's the 4 dropped, your best 6 will count. We average that together, we call that in the quiz grade. I'll explain how that works here in a minute. So it's important to remember that you only go to the D2L quiz when you're ready to submit your answers. You're not taking a live quiz. You're submitting the answers for problems you've already worked. So it's really more like submitting homework than it is a quiz, but I didn't have enough time to change the name of that right now. Maybe I will later. Always be careful when you're entering your answers. There is a chance that the numbers in the problems will be exactly the same, but I don't know. I don't do this on purpose, but the D2L might scramble the order of the answers. So just be, careful. I mean, if the answer is supposed to be 2x plus 3, you're looking for 2x plus 3, no matter whether it's A, B, C, or D, in other words. So we have 3 exams that you'll have to take at a testing center and a final exam that has to be also proctored at a testing center. So here's how we get a grade in this course. The quiz grade basically is an exam grade, and it can replace the lowest of any of the 3 regular exams. So oftentimes students will ask me, and I do the same thing in my face-to-face class. So they'll ask me, so you're dropping the lowest exam grade, right? Well, that's not necessarily true. The quiz grade has to beat the exam grade. Now, however, if your quiz grade, which most people it will, but hey, if your first 3 exams are higher than the quiz average, then the quiz average doesn't count. So basically, it's the best 3 out of those 4. So dropping the exam is not technically correct. It's replacing it with the quiz grade. So you have 4 scores, and there's the final. And they're all equally weighted. They're all 25%. So let's say, your quiz grade and exam 1, exam 3 were your best, and then the final has to count. So yeah, so that's just wanted to kind of clear the semantics up on that. All right. Okay, I'm not going to read through all this, but first thing I say here is read through the syllabus, and then when I make a news announcement here shortly, I'm going to say, watch this video after I get it uploaded to YouTube. Hopefully it won't take too long. And all right, so I'm not going to read all that, but please read all. Oh, let me mention this. Here are the deadline dates for each exam. Now, the first 3 exams will cover all the material. There'll be, there won't be any leftover material. Like sometimes I'll have classes, and you probably had the same thing where there might be like 2 or 3 sections or something that wasn't on the last exam, but they're going to be on the final. That's not happening here. So that's why there's such a short gap between the 3rd exam and the final. The exam date deadlines are the Wednesday of every week, not the first week. So it gives you time to study and get going or whatever. And And it's probably a good idea if you can avoid waiting until the last day, if possible. But I know in a short term, it might be harder to do than a 16-week semester. But those are all Wednesdays, and then the 11th is a Saturday. So it's the Wednesday of the second week, Wednesday of the third week, Wednesday of the fourth week, and then Saturday of the fourth week. So you got a little time to get going, but you can see that so you sort of have a week and a half to take that first test, but then it's all a week after that, and then the final's even closer. Now I need to post a link to this web link right here for you also, and I'll put it in the syllabus folder. Syllabus and other assorted files, that's where I just dump random things. This is a web link to the testing centers. I don't know if they're if they're going to put up a separate one that for the summer, if they're having different hours for the summer, I don't know, but you pick your favorite testing center. You don't have to tell me. They're going to be sent to every one of them automatically. So you coordinate with them, what hours they're going to be open that day, and get there in plenty of time to allow yourself enough time to take the exam. I don't want you to get there. Well, first of all, they won't give an exam within an hour of closing, but to even get there that late is you're just cheating yourself out of valuable time. Okay, let me scroll through here. D2L, blah, 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 academic calendar. All right, that's enough of that. Now you can click around, look on this. This is just something how to, I guess it's a file, how to enter the D2L quizzes. You can just kind of read through that if you want to. Let's see. Yeah, it's just kind of showing you a problem. This is not saying this is one of your problems, but it's supposed to be a negative one there for inverse function. But anyway, you see it's not, on the D2L format, they're just bubbles. They're not A, B, C, D. They're just bubbles. That's not, I don't think you'll have difficulty with that. Let's go back here. And textbook. Oh, this is a link to that Calc Chat website I was telling you. Here's a couple of practice lists, which if you happen to have a Larson 9th or 10th. But if you're not, whatever book you're using, you can just kind of do problems that are similar to my notes, which I'll show you in a minute. Here's a trig sheet that I give you for every test. The exam 3 and the final will have a few formulas. The first two tests won't. I think there's one formula that's on the second exam that's actually within the problem. It's called differentials. So when you come across something called differentials, I believe that formula, in fact, I know it is. It's on the test question itself. Okay, so you don't have to memorize the unit circle or anything in this class, so that's going to be provided for you. But you just know how to make sure you know how to work with it and everything, that you have a basic understanding of. Yeah, I see here's some exam 3 formulas, final exam formulas, but there aren't any for 1 and 2. One thing I need to put in here, like I said, I'll let you know as I update it, is a grading scale. Your exams are multiple choice, but I have sort of a adjustment for them, sort of like a partial credit adjustment. So you'll see that file pop up in this folder, and I generally, unless I forget, but I usually make an announcement when I put something new in there. And I'll keep my news items, active throughout the entire course. It won't, like, a news item won't pop up and then disappear 2 days later. So you can always scroll back and look for things that you might have missed. This class moves fast. You're not going to have time to miss much. D2L resources for students. I don't know what that is. Reviewing quiz and exams submissions. That's a good file because that's a very tricky thing. When people take a quiz, how do we look at it? Now, of course, you can't look at your quizzes until after the deadline is passed for everyone, unfortunately. When you submit them, then you can't look at them until after the deadline. But it tells you how to do it because it's a little difficult because if you go to, for example, where it has here, click on the blue where it says the quiz, that's where you'll go to enter your answers when you're submitting a quiz, and you'll submit when you're done. But if you go back later, even after the deadline, and click on that, nothing's going to happen. You have to click this drop-down arrow next to it where it says submissions, and then it will take you to your personal quiz submission. Oh, there we go, right down there. There's going to be 1 attempt because you don't need multiple attempts because you already have access to the problem. So that's an easy mistake for someone to make. But if you remember that file's there. Even after watching this video, I still expect for people to ask me that again anyway. Some algebra and trig review. If you feel like that would help you, please look at that. Here's just a web link to Khan Academy. Oh, here's a testing center info. Ooh, that might be. Oh, all right. Well, I guess okay. That is. So I already have that there. When I taught this in the last winter mini, though, it was a separate testing center hours were completely different during the winter mini. But even that, I would call and make sure in advance, before a day that you want to go. I would not completely trust that. Well, the winter mini, it was really trimmed down. So students had to be careful, but they put out a nice calendar for that to show you. All right, so like I said, any other random things I'll just announce, I'll drop in there. Like I said, that grading scale, I'll drop in there. Let's come over here, lecture notes. I have these in Windows Journal format if you wanted to open them up that way and write on them. But I have some old Precal notes. But you look at these, and they are categorized by, I might be updating these notes a little bit to the most current ones I have, but you wouldn't see anything different. It would be the same title. It would just be slightly revised, but nothing to prevent you from starting to study immediately. So you see, so that way if you're wondering, well, what sections are going to be on exam 1? How do I know? Here you know. Exam 1 notes, that clearly shows you exactly what is covered on exam 1. And my reviews will match that too. Okay, here's exam 2. 2.5 through 3.9. Actually, there's a problem here. Glad I caught this. Excuse me. I need to. 3.5 is actually involving limits. Okay, I'll repost this. That's going to come in. I'm moving that one section to right after all these other limits after 1.5. 3.5 is on the first test. So I need to make that correction. So you see the 3.5 will disappear from exam 2 and move to exam 1. Here's exam 3, all those files. That looks good. Precal notes, I don't know, there might be some trig stuff you might find useful in there. But it wouldn't hurt to sharpen up algebra skills, because that's one of the biggest stumbling blocks in calculus is that people can't do a basic algebra factor. Squaring a binomial, for example, a plus b in parentheses squared is not a squared plus b squared. The square root of a squared plus b squared is not a plus b. So, mistakes like that, you certainly want to get out of the habit of making those. Exam reviews. I need to work on the one for the final a little bit. I would like to work on a little bit. So hopefully I can get that revised. If not, it's fine, but I was going to kind of trim it down a little bit. Now, here are some videos that I've done. I hope I get a chance to add some more to this for you. But these are problems. They're my work. They are just explaining. I'm not really writing. I'm just kind of like moving a cursor along. You can see what I'm pointing at as on my written solutions. It's just my verbal explanation. So you see, I kind of I did the first one, all of them, but then I started breaking them down because I was having issues. If something crashed or something went wrong, it'd be awful to lose an entire recording. So I would just do them in segments to make sure that, I hate to be working like, see, this is exam 2 review. Wait a minute, what is this one? Sample exam 3, 20. I think that's a typo. That's got to say 2. Gotta edit that title. That should say, well, yeah, that's definitely exam. That's exam 2 material right there. Oh, but it says sample 2 in the video. I just titled it wrong. All right, so somehow I need to figure out I don't know how to do that. I need to retitle that. Edit. I don't know how to edit these links. There's something down here. Like, I know how to do this for my notes, but I don't know how to do this. Well, I'll figure it out. Anyway. So let's see. So for the sample exam 2, I've got it actually broken in 5 videos. Now your exams are never as long as these reviews are. Just, I figure the more practice, the better. The exams, all 3 of the exams are going to be, the regular exams will be 20 problems each. And I think I've set a time limit, like 4 hours. That's plenty of time. And then the final will be 30 problems. So they're never as long as the reviews. You don't have to worry about that. Now let me come over here to the quizzes. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Maybe if I get a chance, I'll see if I can. I think quiz 10 is kind of a cumulative review of stuff. It's not. But I don't have the sections associated with them, but I have them per exam. So you can see at least what content, so you would know they would come from the exam 1 notes. Perhaps I can pinpoint what sections they are, but at least we have them grouped by exam, which helps. So you go in here, click on this, start working all these problems, and once you're happy with all your answers, you keep those answers. And then let me go back. Okay, and I'll show you. So pretend like you have your answers done. Let me back out of this. Go back one more. Go back up to content. I think I've gone through everything I wanted to show there. Quizzes, notes, exam reviews. Now let me come over here to assessments. That's what I was talking about. So what you'll do is you'll work those problems, get those answers, then you'll come over here to quiz 1, and then you'll start quiz, and then those same problems will pop up. But watch for answer scrambling. You start the quiz, and at that point, remember, you're not actually working them again. You're just submitting your answers, just going through and those. I think I have 45 minutes set here or something like that. Well, I got plenty of time. 45 minutes, an hour. It shouldn't take you, 10 minutes tops to do it, but that way you can be careful. Go through there, carefully pick your answers. All right, so, and then you'll submit when you're done. So I'll just kind of click on this. I guess it doesn't matter whether I pass it or not. Just want you to see what you'd be looking at. There you go. So you see, you go through here. You can actually save each answer as you go when you want to. But these will be the same problems. And then you can wait and save them all. Then you'll click on the button that says Go to Submit Quiz, and then that's where it'll tell you your score. But like I said, you will not be able to see the ones you miss until you view your submission after the deadline. That's what usually people will ask me too. So hopefully people will listen to this, and that will minimize how many times you have to ask me that question. But you'll see the grade, like it says 90, and I know you want to go which one you missed, but you'll have to wait until the deadline to see. Now, let me go back over the assessments. Now, I'm still working on this course, but these quizzes they're all open. You can work at your own pace here. Oh, 1 attempt, that was me. Go in there and delete that attempt. But anyway, let's see. So they don't, you see it just says when they start, but they are going to have deadlines. I'll be going back through here. So that's the first day, during the first day, and putting deadlines, but obviously that you can start working. But the deadlines for the quizzes, depending on how many of them are, will be right before the exam deadline, because I want to give a chance, even if you're waiting to the last day to take the exam, I don't recommend that, but I understand it in such a short term, is you can at least see the ones you missed, the night before you go take the test. So watch, the deadlines will kind of be right before the deadline, the day before, usually the deadline to the exam itself, based on what I was showing you, the PDF files telling you which exam they related to. Now, I already have the exams set up here, though, with their deadline dates. Now, you see the exams have these little locks on it here. The quizzes do not. That means you can go in and submit. The locks means these exams have passwords, and that's what the testing center does. The testing center will unlock the test when you go in there, and then you work on it and you submit. Now, notice these deadlines. I just put these all at 10 p.m. You have to go within the hours that the testing center is open. It doesn't really mean that you have until 10 p.m. I just set a deadline that was well beyond the closing center of the deadline. Just pay attention to that day and whatever hours the testing center are open that particular day, and you'll be good. And like I said, I believe you have, 240 minutes and way longer than that for the final, so that's going to be plenty of time. So, you might as well get there 4 hours before they close. You probably won't need to be there that long, but yeah, you're allowed the time. So yeah, don't let the 10 p.m. fool you. You're not going to be able to show up at a testing center at 8 o'clock and start taking a test. So anyway, so there's how that works. So like I said, these quizzes will have due dates. You'll see them if we go back over. Let's see. Click back here. You see over. Now I guess it doesn't. I thought it would show. I guess it's not going to show the quizzes in this calendar until I put the due dates. You see it's showing all the due dates for the exam. So those quizzes are open. But remember, you have to work the PDF problems first. But then you'll see them all on the calendar as their due dates are put in there. And that's how you'll know when they're due. Okay, I believe that covers everything. Let's see. Grades is where you'll see your grades. Now, what's going to happen is when you take a test, I'll be posting that formula for you. Let's say you made an 80, and I'm going to adjust that. Now, the grades will not adjust it automatically. I have to go back through there and do that. So I do it after each exam, and then you'll see, 80 becomes whatever, maybe, I forgot, 86 or something like that, or 80 becomes 86, and you'll see what I manually typed over it with an 86. So you can at least look at your score, and you'll see what my grading scale is, and you'll know what it's going to convert to. That way, if I have an accidental typo or something like that, that's we can fix that, because I can go back in and see what your raw score is. So always pay attention to these news items. There aren't anything else in there right now, but there will be. I'm going to make a nice welcoming announcement here shortly. So, all right, I believe that covers everything for now. So, good luck, and like I said, send me an email if you have any questions, and hopefully this will give you a little bit of confidence and guidance to kind of get started, so you're not just sort of tossed out there completely on your own. And I wish you very best. I hope you do well. It was last winter mini was very successful. Students did better than the class did the full semester before. So that's no pressure on you for this summer mini May 2016. But so hopefully it'll go well, and best of luck.